Have you ever felt like your mind just won't stop? Thoughts racing about the past, what you should have done, what went wrong, or constant worries about the future. What if something bad happens? What if you fail? It's exhausting, isn't it? What if I told you that the key to peace, happiness, and true freedom isn't found in the past or the future, but in something much simpler, something right in front of you, but often ignored? This book isn't just another self-help guide. It's a wake-up call, a reminder that the present moment is all we truly have. So if you're ready to stop overthinking and start truly living, stick with me till the end of this video. Let's start by understanding what the power of now really means. So, what exactly does Eckhart Tolle mean by the power of now? It's simple. The present moment, right now, is the only moment that truly exists. The past, it's gone. The future, it hasn't arrived yet. All we ever really have is this one moment. But here's the problem. Most of us don't live in the now. Our minds are constantly trapped in two places. One, the past, where we replay old memories, regrets, and pain. Two, the future, where we worry, stress, and create what-if scenarios that may never happen. Tolle explains that this constant time traveling in our minds is what causes stress, anxiety, and suffering. We're either stuck in memories that we can't change or worried about things that might never happen. The result? We miss out on life as it's happening right in front of us. If living in the present is so powerful, why don't we do it naturally? The answer lies in how our minds work. Tolle introduces two key ideas that explain why we struggle to stay in the now: the ego and the pain body. First, let's talk about the ego. No, not the "I'm better than you" ego. Tolle defines the ego as the mental chatter in our heads, the voice that constantly judges, compares, and creates stories about who we are. Think about it. Have you ever caught yourself lost in thought, replaying old conversations, or imagining future scenarios? That's the ego at work. It keeps us identified with our thoughts and emotions, making us believe that we are our thoughts. But here's a game-changing truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. Just like the sky is separate from passing clouds, you exist beyond your mind's constant noise. Now, let's talk about the pain body. Have you ever felt triggered by something small, maybe a comment or a situation, and suddenly, all your past emotions rush back? That's your pain body in action. Tolle describes the pain body as the emotional baggage we carry from past experiences, old wounds, traumas, and unhealed pain. It feeds off negativity, making us react unconsciously. The more we identify with these emotions, the more they control us. But when we become aware of them, when we observe them instead of being consumed by them, we take away their power. So, how do we break free from this cycle of overthinking and emotional suffering? The answer is awareness. The moment you become aware that you're lost in thought, you step out of it. You return to the present moment. Imagine your thoughts as a river. Most of us are drowning in it, carried away by its current. But awareness is like standing on the riverbank, watching the thoughts flow by without getting swept away. This shift in awareness is the first step toward true inner peace. The more you practice bringing your attention to the present, the more free and peaceful you become. Now that we understand why the present moment is so powerful, let's dive into the key lessons from the book that will help you apply this in your daily life. Now that we understand why the present moment is so powerful, let's talk about how to apply it in real life. In The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle shares some transformative lessons that help us escape overthinking and truly experience life as it happens. Here are 4 key lessons from the book that can change the way you see yourself, your mind, and the world around you. Have you ever noticed how your mind never stops talking? It's like a non-stop radio station, constantly commenting, analyzing, and sometimes even arguing with itself. Tolle teaches us that most people are completely identified with their thoughts. But here's the truth. You're not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Imagine this. Your mind is like a sky, and your thoughts are passing clouds. Sometimes the sky is clear, sometimes it's stormy. But no matter what, the sky itself is untouched. That's what you truly are, the silent awareness behind all thoughts. So how do you practice this? The next time you catch yourself lost in thought, pause. Don't judge it, just observe it, as if you were watching a movie. The simple act of noticing your thoughts creates distance between you and your mind, and that distance brings peace. Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, "I'll be happy when I graduate, when I get that job, when I find the right person"? We constantly delay happiness because we believe it exists in the future. But Tolle reminds us, the past and the future don't actually exist. The past is just a collection of memories, and the future is just a mental projection. The only moment that truly exists is now. Think about it. Have you ever experienced a moment that wasn't now? Every memory you have was experienced in a present moment. Every future event will be experienced in a present moment. The present is all we ever truly have. So how do we stop living in this illusion of time? Whenever you catch yourself worrying about the future or regretting the past, bring your attention back to the now. Feel the air around you, notice the sounds, focus on your breathing. The more you do this, the more peaceful you become. So how do we stop living in this illusion of time? Whenever you catch yourself worrying about the future or regretting the past, bring your attention back to the now. Feel the air around you, notice the sounds, focus on your breathing. The more you do this, the more peaceful you become. Tolle teaches that suffering doesn't come from external situations. It comes from our resistance to them. When we resist what is, we create pain. But when we surrender and accept the present moment as it is, we find peace. Now, surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the mental fight against reality. It means accepting this moment fully and acting from a place of peace instead of resistance. Here's how to practice surrender. The next time you feel stressed, pause and ask yourself, am I resisting this moment or accepting it? If you're resisting, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is the way things are right now. Fighting it only creates suffering. Then, act from a place of clarity instead of frustration. In today's world, silence is rare. We're constantly bombarded with information, notifications, social media, endless distractions. But Tolle says that true wisdom and peace come from silence and stillness. When was the last time you just sat in silence, without checking your phone, without thinking about what's next? Most people are afraid of silence because they are afraid of being alone with their thoughts. But silence is where true clarity comes from. So how can you bring more stillness into your life? Try sitting in complete silence for just 1 minute a day. No distractions, just stillness. Pay attention to the space between sounds, the pauses between your thoughts. The more you embrace silence, the more connected you become with the present moment. These 4 lessons, observing your mind, realizing the illusion of time, surrendering to the present, and embracing silence, are powerful tools to free yourself from stress, anxiety, and unnecessary suffering. But how do we turn these ideas into everyday habits? In the next section, I'll share practical steps to apply the power of now in your daily life. Stay with me. Now that we've explored the core lessons of the power of now, let's talk about how to apply these ideas in daily life. It's one thing to understand these concepts, but real transformation happens when you practice them every day. Here are 5 simple but powerful steps to help you live in the present moment, reduce stress, and experience true inner peace. Step 1. Use your senses to anchor yourself to the present. Have you ever been so lost in thought that you didn't even notice what was happening around you? Maybe you were eating, walking, or driving, but your mind was somewhere else? One of the easiest ways to bring yourself back to the present is to use your senses, your sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. Try this right now. Take a deep breath. Now, notice 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can see, and 1 thing you can feel. The moment you do this, you're back in the now. Step 2. Observe your thoughts without judging them. Most of us live trapped in our thoughts, constantly overanalyzing everything. But remember what we learned earlier. You're not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. The next time you catch yourself worrying or overthinking, take a step back. Instead of engaging with the thought, just observe it. Say to yourself, "There's that thought again," and then let it pass like a cloud in the sky. You don't have to fight your thoughts. Just watch them come and go without attaching yourself to them. The more you practice this, the more peaceful your mind will become. Step 3. Stop time traveling in your mind. Our biggest source of stress is that we are always mentally time traveling, reliving the past or worrying about the future. But the truth is, neither of those places exist. The only real moment is now. So here's a simple trick. Every time you catch yourself lost in the past or future, ask yourself, what's wrong with this moment right now? Almost always, you'll find that this moment is okay. It's your thoughts about the past or future that create stress. Bring your attention back to what's happening now, and you'll instantly feel calmer. Step 4. Accept the present moment fully. Have you ever been in a frustrating situation and thought, this shouldn't be happening? That resistance to reality is what causes suffering. Tolle teaches us that peace comes when we accept the present moment fully, even if we don't like it. Now, this doesn't mean you have to like the situation. It just means that instead of resisting it, you accept it as what is, and then decide how to respond from a place of clarity instead of stress. So the next time you face something unpleasant, take a deep breath and say, this is what's happening right now. How can I respond wisely? That simple shift in mindset can change everything. Step 5. Create presence triggers in your day. One of the easiest ways to stay present is to create small presence triggers throughout your day, reminders that bring you back to the now. Try setting an alarm on your phone that goes off every few hours with a simple message. Are you present? Or place small reminders around your home. Sticky notes, wallpapers, or even a bracelet that reminds you to return to the now. These small triggers will help you make presence a habit rather than just an idea. So, to summarize, use your senses to anchor yourself in the now, observe your thoughts without judgment, stop mentally time traveling, accept the present moment fully, and create small presence triggers to remind yourself to stay mindful. The more you practice these steps, the more natural they'll become. And before you know it, you'll start experiencing life in a completely new way, more peaceful, more present, and more alive. In the final part of this video, let's wrap up everything we've learned and talk about how you can take this journey further. So, we've explored the key ideas from the power of now, why the present moment is all that truly exists, how our thoughts and emotions trap us in suffering, and the practical steps to break free and live in the now. But here's the real question. Will you just understand these concepts, or will you apply them in your daily life? Many people think transformation happens overnight. But Tolle reminds us, awakening doesn't mean suddenly becoming a completely different person. It means making small shifts moment by moment. Every time you catch yourself overthinking and bring your focus back to now, that's a shift. Every time you observe your thoughts instead of being consumed by them, that's a shift. Every time you accept the present moment instead of resisting it, that's a shift. And the more you make these small shifts, the more peace, clarity, and joy you'll experience in your life. Before we end this video, I want you to ask yourself a simple but profound question. Am I present right now? Not tomorrow, not 5 minutes from now, right now. Feel the air around you. Notice the sounds in the background. Observe your breath. This is it. This moment is life. The more you practice bringing yourself into the now, the more you'll realize something powerful. Happiness, peace, and fulfillment aren't things you chase in the future. They're available to you right now, if you choose to be present. I hope this video has helped you understand the wisdom of the power of now and how to apply it in your daily life. If this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments. What's one small change you'll make to live more in the present? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on mindfulness, self-growth, and living with purpose. Thank you for being here in this moment with me. Stay present, stay mindful, and I'll see you in the next video.